Can anyone stop Nigeria from winning the 2026 African Women's Cup of Nations? Nigeria have actually won this tournament for a record 10 times. They have won it more than any other countries in Africa. Nigeria is going to this tournament as a prime favorite. For the first time in many years, the Super Falcons of Nigeria might look vulnerable. Countries like Morocco, South Africa and Zambia are willing to dethrone the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Take note, Morocco has the home advantage to their side. South Africa are trying to repair their reputation. Zambia have one of the most deadliest attacks in African women's football. So the big question is, can the Super Falcons be dethroned by any of these countries? The WAFCON is scheduled to hold today in Rabat, Morocco, and in this video we'll be looking at why the Super Falcons still remain the #1 favorite to lift the trophy for a record 11 times, and also we'll be looking at potential 3 countries that may or could likely dethrone the Super Falcons of their title. So the big question you ask yourself is, why is Nigeria always the favorite when going to the African Women's Cup of Nations? Nigeria have actually won this tournament for a record 10 times. They are the queen when it comes to African women's football. These ladies tend to put their best. They have players scattered all around Europe. Nigerian players are playing for top clubs in Europe, and Nigerian Super Falcons have produced legendary players in the game. Players like Mercy Akide, Perpetua Wokocha, Asisa Toshola and the rest. This is why Nigeria tend to dominate African football for God knows how long. So whenever Nigeria goes to a tournament, they are not going there to participate. They are going there expectedly to win the tournament. This is why the Super Falcons is always seen as the prime favorite of any WAFCON tournament hosted here in Africa. Like I said earlier, this year Nigeria looks somehow vulnerable when it comes to this WAFCON. They've not really had a good campaign. They've not really had a good season when it comes to friendly matches. This lady may look vulnerable because many of them are still not yet in good shape. But hopefully they do well in this tournament. Now, for the record, the 3 teams that may likely want to dethrone the Super Falcons of their throne. #1 is Morocco. Morocco, in the last couple of years, their football have turned around. Morocco football is at the highest level. Morocco women's team have played in 2 AFCON finals back to back. They played the first one with South Africa. They played the Super Falcons in the last WAFCON, and they narrowly lost both games. You can see the ascendancy when it comes to Morocco women teams in this tournament. They are not pushover. They have the current Africa Women Player of the Year. That's Chebak. They have Chebak. Chebak is one of the best players in the world, in the continent. Currently, she is the current Africa Women's Player of the Year. And kudos to the Moroccan Federation. They are doing well both in May and the female tournament. This is why Morocco may likely be one of those teams that may likely dethrone the Super Falcons of their throne. Another team that may likely want to dethrone the Super Falcons of their throne is the South African team. That's the Banyana of South Africa. This is a former African champion. They've won this tournament once in their history. They are a very, very good side. They are one of the rivals to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. They have always been there. The last 20 years of this tournament, the Banyana of South Africa have always been competing against Nigeria. Although they've lost a lot of games against the Super Falcons of Nigeria, but based on their pedigree in the continent, they are likely want to dethrone the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Another team that may likely want to dethrone the Super Falcons of Nigeria is the Zambian national team. That's the Zambia women's team. Zambia in African football have one of the best attacking football teams so far. They are one of the best attackers in African football, and that is Barbara. Barbara has been one of Africa's best strikers in the last couple of years. This girl plays good football. Is one of the best goal scorers in African football. So far, so good. And Zambian team are not that bad. They are one of those teams that you put in the top 4 or top 5 in African football. Although the Super Falcons defeated them the last WAFCON, they were heavily defeated by the Super Falcons, but you still cannot write the Zambian off. What Nigeria must do to maintain or to retain this tournament is for them not to underrate or underestimate any other African teams. Fine, we know we are the defending champion. Nigeria has won this tournament for a record 10 times, but they should go this tournament, they should go into this tournament, forget about the history. Go there, do the business, and get this trophy back from Rabat to Abuja. They should just do the needful. We know the Super Falcons are capable of winning this tournament again, but for me, it's going to be a very tough one. Don't forget, the Super Falcons, they've not really gotten grade A friendly matches in the past couple of years, and to me, some of their players are not really in good shape, if you ask me. And again, don't forget, other African teams are coming to compete against the Super Falcons. When you are good, you are good. So Super Falcons should expect stiff challenges from teams like Morocco, Zambia, and also from teams like South Africa. It's not going to be easy. So guys, tell us, do you think any country in Africa can stop the Super Eagles from winning the 11th tournament title? Do you think any team in Africa can do so? If there's any team, you can write in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe to my video for more. Thank you, one love.